All right, what is up? Welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer, Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we are going to talk about Ahsoka episode 6. It came out a couple days ago, and yeah, so we are getting into full spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, pause the video, come back after you checked it out, and yeah. So, but yeah, are we getting spoiled? We're spoiling Ahsoka. We are fully spoiling Ahsoka. So, um, yeah. So big things happened in this one. But we'll get into our good, our bad, and kind of get into maybe some predictions and stuff like that. But right off the bat, Brandon, what you like about this episode?
I like that it switched gears for a second and it focused on Sabine, a character that I haven't much cared for recently, or up until recently. You know, like it kind of worked. You know, the title character took a back seat, which is becoming kind of a commonality with a lot of the Star Wars series, be it The Mandalorian or we have that kind of like midpoint episode where like a supporting character takes a stage. It was kind of cool. Made me warm up to Sabine a little bit. Granted, I missed Ahsoka. Granted, I missed Hera, and but it was good. It was a nice little switch up.
Okay. Anything else? Any likes? If not, I mean, sure we'll come back around.
We'll come back around.
Yeah. Okay. What you got, Brian?
From the beginning, I loved seeing the Night Sisters. I thought that was so very cool. And it's something real small that the sister said. They said something like they sensed force power in Sabine. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah,
Jedi power.
Jedi. I feel Jedi.
Sister as a Jedi. I was like,
yeah,
that was so cool. And it was actually went opposite of what I've been thinking this whole time, that we're going to force her to be a Mandalorian. But if they sense Jedi power in her, that means they're probably going to let her be a Jedi. She's going to start being able to do a lot more stuff. I really love feeling
when the Night Sister was like, "Oh, I smell Jedi," or whatever she said. Mm-hmm. It cut the bait. Baylan was like kind of like made that look. So I wonder, because like for me, I was like, I wonder that they sensed Jedi and it was really him, and they assumed it's her because she's in cuffs, obviously. So I'm like,
but they knew that he was an ex-Jedi.
That look like, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it had freaking sabers on there. On his waist, but it was like a weird cut to Baylan, and he kind of had a look like his eyes shifted a little bit.
Right.
Like I wound up watching it again, and I was like, yes. He's like, no, not me. I'm good. But yeah.
The force it to go into the eyes.
Exactly. But I did thought that was cool.
That was cool. I like the Shin Baylan. They had a couple of moments in this entire thing that was really cool. The interaction, the things that they were saying. And I think off the air, me and Tank were actually talking about it because they called. So Shin asked about Jedi, and he's like, "Oh, so did you know?" He asked, "Did you know Ezra?" And he's like, "No, he's much younger. He's not what we call a real Jedi. He's more of the Boken Jedi." And we're like, "What's Boken Jedi?" And he explained, "It's like, they weren't actually at the temple. This was after the temple crashed. This was after he was kind of, shown how to do it. He wasn't done in the ancient style. He didn't really go all the knowledge and all the stuff of what Jedi used to usually get. That's what he was." So. And so I looked up, I was talking to Tank about this, but what is Boken? So Boken are wooden swords. And what the way he was saying, Baylan was basically saying, like, we were real swords. We are the real swords. They were these fake wooden swords, and they're different going forward. And the idea of it was, what Baylan was trying to get across was more that, he has a greater aptitude for force because of what they've been through. And these guys are just kind of riding on their coattails, and they're not really part of the Jedi Order. They're not even practically what's going on. What this new Jedi is just they're going off the idea. of being a Jedi, not actually all the stuff that they actually went through.
Yeah, like formally trained and kind of like learning it on
On
the
their
whim or
own.
kind of thing on their own.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like a mathematician who went through guy's PhD and a mathematician who's reading a book
Yeah.
of what they're doing and trying to teach themselves. And
Yeah.
that's what he was kind of he's very disillusioned with the idea of these Boken Jedi. And I thought
And,
that was
I kind of like
very
that.
cool. Yeah, I mean, the
Mhm.
idea of it was cool. I understand where he's coming from. And I think all this is leading to, he is a snob, but all that is
He's a
leading to
snob.
what we're getting from him and why he's making these choices that he's making to go to this planet. Yeah, Einstein himself taught him. I know physics because Einstein himself taught me.
Yeah.
But
That's the thing. It's like that's why he is kind of a snob. He's like, I was properly trained. You know, these guys
Yeah.
just are just. But also, it's like, but like what you said, the mathematician who like went and studied years and became a doctorate and all that shit. But meanwhile, you got like Goodwill Hunting, who's just naturally good at it and is good, but that doesn't make him not any better or less better than somebody who has trained because he's naturally gifted. And that's kind of makes Baylan a snob like that, you know, where yeah, Einstein's taught himself, but does that make Einstein not smart? You know, it's like no, you know, it's still
It
Einstein.
makes
So
you might be even smarter. It might be more in tune
yeah,
with the Force because you
yeah,
had to go through these things.
yeah,
You know, and I thought that was very interesting. But this is also probably going to be his demise. That thinking.
yeah.
And I thought that was very important that we, point that out. And he's telling this stuff to Shin, but he's going to go through all these problems because of that way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's going to really be part of him losing. And I'm now of the opinion that I don't know if Ahsoka or Ezra is going to kill him, but one of them is probably going to kill him because of this whole Boken idea. It'd be cool. It'll be very cool if Ezra is the one doing it because of what he just said. So I think that's going to be very cool, very smart, very well done. The Night Sisters themselves was very cool, and then finally seeing Thrawn.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
It was so awesome.
Oh, that was so great.
Yeah.
He was so fucking good. Guys, wow. They did it. We were thinking about this for years. And and then even Sabine and the way she went through her journey.
Oh, it was so awesome.
And then the fact that we talked about this with the animals are what brought Sabine.
That's one of my theories. I know I said it on.
I want to stop,
yourself.
so I'm just gonna let you go ahead and go on for that. I could go on forever on this episode. I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it.
I can't get him out of my mind. Why? I think about the Thrawn all the time.
Wow.
That was like the whole time, but yeah, he was awesome. I hate that he's getting so much hate. It's like, oh man, he's got a dad bod. He doesn't look like the cartoon. I was like really? This is what we're talking about?
Beggars or
so
just picky people.
Yeah, and I thought he looked good.
I thought he looked great.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dude in blue makeup and red eyes.
But he looked menacing and thoughtful, and you could tell that he's always thinking. He's learning about these things. He's identifying all your problems within you at all times. He's always contemplating and formulating the problem, and the solution. And this dude's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, he was. Thrawn was awesome. Him just walking up and it's like, dude, you lost the battle 10 years ago, and he still has all this confidence. He's like, yeah, I'll still win. Like he never lost the confidence. Like he still knows he's going to win. And I was like, damn, because he's awesome. He's that badass. Did they make him look taller than he is? He's actually 6'4". Who was it? Mads Mikkelsen?
That was Mads Mikkelsen.
It was one of the Mickelsons. It was the guy who voiced him in the show in Rebels. So
Rebels. That's one.
Yeah. So hold on, before I get into some of the comments, because I'm getting to those. some my good stuff was Lars Mikkelsen. There you go. Sorry,
Lars Mikkelsen. Yeah,
Lars. Yeah. One of my favorite things was totally agree with you. I didn't really care for Sabine as much in this episode. I
never cared about Sabine.
Why Filoni is just ruining this badass character. She is such a badass, and Filoni is just like, I'm gonna make her do the stupidest shit. You know, it's like, why are you doing this to her, man? It's like, yeah. She was a little badass though in the fight.
West Chapman. Oh my god, from The Expanse.
Yes.
I fucking love him. I love The Expanse so much.
I was just gonna bring that up too because I know how much you love The Expanse, and when I found out it was West Chapman, I was like, oh yeah, Brian's gonna love that. Yeah, and then also like Putin's cat said, head sister was Claudia Black from Farscape.
Farscape,
I didn't know. That's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, definitely loved everything you guys said. My favorite thing was seeing the night troopers. Because at first I saw them like, oh, they're kind of beat up, and I'm like, oh, is that like tape or something? And then once I found out, I was like, oh no, that's like the robes and the dressings from the Night Sisters. You know, because I believe right now the theory is that these are the Night Brothers. You know, basically what Darth Maul is. You know, so it's like if all of this people from the planet, you know. Because if you have the Night Sisters, you have to have, you know, the male versions of them, and I wonder if he built an army of these like magic stormtroopers. I'm like, that's awesome, you know. But Enoch, which is the captain, the head guy with the gold face, I'm like, I want that right now. I want it so bad. Like, I never really wanted like any of the helmets. Like, I would love a Boba Fett helmet or a Mando helmet, you know. But this helmet, I'm like, that's one of the coolest helmets I've seen in a long time in Star Wars, because it goes back to like samurai Japan kind of style, especially with the gold, and it's awesome.
That's what Filoni's doing so good. He understands what Star Wars is and how
like
it is about samurai.
Yes,
he understands what it is, and that's why he's bringing all these words, these small things, they're making them into these huge ideas, and even like, you know, like Ahsoka's her two swords, you know, how one's bigger than the other one, and it's from like samurai law, because that's how they were. It's genius, the stuff that they're doing. I'm loving these details.
Putin's cat, dead on. That's the first thing I thought about. It was Mordred from Excalibur, which was like Arthur's bastard son. Yeah, I was waiting for that stupid laugh that he does. Because Excalibur is one of my favorite movies of like ever. And he does like the kid in the gold armor does like this stupid laugh the whole time. But it did kind of remind me of that, but it did remind me more of like samurais, you know, like kind of that style, you know, with the faces in it. Loved it. Even the ship, I had to go back and watch. A lot of the ship started having gold in it too. So I wonder if gold is just like an easy
easy metal that's around there
in that planet or something. Yeah. But which makes so much more sense with like somebody like Thrawn, where is very proper and like almost like royalty, in a sense of like I have to show how badass I am, you know. Because if you go back and look at Rebels, his office chamber, whatever, was very neat, had art and all this like good stuff. So it was like he's a very bougie kind of person.
But remember what he does. He looks at the art from your planet, and he can figure out the way you're going to fight in everything. So he is that way, and with the things you are with the things you keep around you, and that's why it matters. He's doing what he's doing. Exactly.
Yeah, that's why like I know like See For Yourself and the movie tubers, they were talking about it, and one thing they're like, how I think DJ the Movie Time Minute was he was going on a rant on how bad it was that Sabine found Ezra pretty quick. Meanwhile, Thrawn never found him, and I think once they separated, Thrawn's like, I don't care about you. You don't know anything here. I have a fucking ship, you know, still. And I'm sure he still had a lot of people on the ship that are loyal to him and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, go run around. I'm going to go figure shit out because I still got my plan I want to do. You know, you're a dumb child, you know. So Yeah, I think
I feel like it's
it wasn't
also
too
the
big of a
fact that
deal.
you talked about the whole animal thing and his connection
Yeah,
with animals, and the fact that the only way you're going to find him was if you had a connection with an animal that can really show you the way this thing was going to work. These people, they weren't
yeah,
going to just show you where Ezra was. They had to know that you had some connection to him. You know, you weren't
yeah,
going to torture them into finding him. So like that was the only way that was going to work.
yeah. I mean, even then, because even like Ezra asked Sabine, he goes, "Oh, how'd you get one of those?" So I don't know if it was intentional or unintentional or something like that. I mean, and that's just a theory. It could be just poor writing for all I know, which
Yeah.
that's not out of the realm of possibility for something like Star Wars. But yeah, definitely love the Night Troopers. I thought they were freaking awesome. I thought they were super awesome. Who's he? Go sleep on us, man. Brandon. I
Yep.
think you
Is
did.
you out? You're out.
Yeah,
And he's out.
I'm gonna put him down. If he wakes up, I'll
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
what I was doing.
Yeah, go ahead, do it. I'm gonna get some of these comments real quick. If he wakes up, we'll bring him back in.
I'll look at him.
And then Mama Bear said, "Both can still mess you up. It just can't cut you." That is very true, man. It can still mess you up.
But it is for training, and it's funny because they
Yeah,
don't get the training using a Boken. You don't get the training, but you use this word Boken for that.
which
So
is
like
made,
for
yeah,
that word. So I thought that
yeah,
was kind of really interesting.
yeah. That is like really cool. Filoni's really good when it comes to like symbolism and metaphors and stuff like that. He's really good at that. Um, See for yourself said, I wanted if it was the witches who called Baylan, just like how Wenwu was being called and manipulated in Shang-Chi. That's
Hmm.
interesting. I don't think it is though. I don't think it is. I have a theory, and I
I was saying
really,
I have a theory too.
really, really hope they go this route of the theory. Because they'll be from
Because Balin is there for his own motives. We all know
yeah,
he's not
yeah.
a mercenary. He's trying to get there for his own thing.
He
He
got
has a
his own
plan.
stuff.
He has his own stuff. He's just using them as a means to an ends.
Exactly. But yeah, I got a theory, and we'll see. But if you don't know the books, you might not know too much. But if you follow us on Twitter, I did put something on Twitter. And then Pookie said Ezra been doing nothing for 10 years. Possibly, but also I think he could be.
I think he's training. I think he trained.
Yeah, that's one thing. They actually talked about that in one of the last episodes. Like, training doesn't mean like you're constantly in combat. What else can you train? The whole episode, the last episode
The
with
whole thing was Ahsoka, and that's what
Ahsoka.
when he talked about. Yeah, I raised you to be a warrior, but doesn't mean that all the rest of these Jedi's were raised as warriors. And that's also kind of what we were talking about with Baylan. How they're brought up and all those things, and that changes stuff, and it means something different. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but also look at well, now they're changing in the story a little bit, but with Kenobi, Obi-Wan was on a planet. Did he become stronger even though he didn't? He was just on a desert planet watching over a boy for 20 something years or almost 20 years. So he became stronger because he connected more with the force, and I wonder, connecting with the force in a different galaxy, what does that even mean? Like, I still want to get into that whole
closer to
idea.
the actual beginning, and I think that's what that Baylan is actually going towards.
Yeah,
The original power, the original Jedi, all that original stuff.
The start of it all,
That connection.
which man, I can't wait to talk about my theory. Oh yeah, we already talked about that. Let's see, the guy playing Enoch. Also, that they make him look taller. Possibly. Because Lars.
Hey, man, he is he is so big. He's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love. Oh my god, I cannot believe. I wish I knew that. It would be even better for me. I would have enjoyed it that much more.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. It's been 10 years. What do people expect? His physical fitness has nothing to do with his mind. Exactly. And I think being a good Jedi is also like being closer to the Force. So, and then see for yourself. Say that Captain Enoch is awesome. I just hope he's his own character, not a Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah, great grandnephew or something. I hope he's his own thing, but if they keep true to like if all of the Dathomires, are similar to what they had in uh Clone Wars, then I wonder if like he ever takes off the mask, is it just like a version of like Darth Maul, spikes, with colors and this and stuff like that. It'd be kind of interesting if they go that route with like the
I
Night
just want to
Brother.
see it. I want him to take off the mask and be Wes Chapman.
Just have him be that.
Just that be
Yeah.
badass. So just
Yeah. And Boone's Cat said it was too easy. Ezra showing up. Like Ezra was like, "Yo, you looking for me?" It was kind of like anticlimactic.
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah. He's with the turtle shell guys. Yeah. Mama Bear, sleepy boy. He's in a different time zone and had some drinks earlier today.
Exactly.
So he's definitely different time.
He just traveled today. So yeah.
Oh yeah. If the show was HBO, at least 30 minutes are Ezra and Sabine and Hot. It was HBO back in the day. There still is training for Boken as it is a deadly weapon. It's just used differently from a katana. Yeah, but yeah, I know you meant Boken as the Jedi, the wild Jedi trainings. That's
the wild Jedi. Yeah,
Baylan
not being in the middle, basically be training in the middle of a forest or whatever, without any actual training in that way.
Yeah, because it's a training sword. But I get your kind of like reference. It's like a training sword, so you can upgrade and be better, more proficient
you're not
in the real sword. But
so and you're in the point
not,
where you're not to the same quality as what you were. You're a lesser Jedi than I am. And what they're gonna find out, going with what Mama Bear is saying, we're gonna find out is that you're just as deadly. You're just different, and that's what's going to end up showing. And I think a perfect thing will be Ezra killing him. So that would be cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Does the Force exist in this galaxy? Exactly.
It has to, though, doesn't it? I mean, the Force is originated here. No, not yet. This way.
Yeah. I mean, is it though? I mean, because it's a previous. I mean, I think it is. I think it is too, where it might be more of an ancient Force kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, this is like where. What do you say? This is where the stories came from, like the the fairy tales came from.
He said that this is where it began. So that makes me feel like not just the Force is there.
Yeah,
it's the originator. There's an original temple. I totally believe that Baylan's going to find a Jedi temple, original Jedi temple on that planet,
like an older one before, like where was Luke at? Because Luke was on the first one, but we get one before that.
We're gonna find way before that in the entire. Because remember that there was an entire population. There's an entire people that was there, with the Night Sisters and all that. Night Sisters came from those people that were using both the good and bad and all force side of the Force. So they had to have both the good and bad part of the Force in this galaxy.
Yeah,
that's where they come from. So in my mind, it makes sense.
Yeah. So like Putin's cat is like Obi-Wan episode 4, the Force binds the galaxy together. But does it bind this galaxy? Because this is technically, we're in a different galaxy now. But that's the parallel of the character looking down on the Boken Jedi. Yeah, they're still deadly, but not the same status symbol as Katana. Exactly, and that's why he's a snob. He's like bougie. He's like, I'm better than you because I had the proper training. Like I am, the Katana, and you
guys lost your way. This is what this is. You lost your way, and I'm here to show you guys the right way again.
Yeah.
This is my goal in life, is to make sure I bring the Jedi back to where it was.
Is that it's like looking down on somebody with a size, since it's a farmer's tool. Yeah.
Street,
So, I wonder if Shin is starting to question Baylan. I don't know, because part of me feels like that sometimes, but then other times she still cool with it all. So I don't know.
I
don't know.
think the only way she would question Baylan is if he chooses to lose or says that we're going to do something and she feels like it's a losing tactic, or
Mhm.
like we're not going to go back to that ship, and she's like, that's stupid.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's what kind of creates, some
Yeah.
type of, something with them.
Yeah. So see for yourself. I'm gonna mark that because I want to come back to that because that's kind of tied into what my theory kind of is. So I'm definitely gonna show that one in a little bit. Did he mean universe? I wonder. I don't know. It'd be
But
interesting.
I'm just saying,
Isn't what-
if the star whales were going from galaxy to galaxy,
Mhm.
and the whole idea with the Night Sisters and this ancient civilization before was that they were Force users. They had good and bad. The Night Sisters kind of rose to the top as they were going, so they has to be Force in this galaxy.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like
that's what I think the magic is, right? The magic is just
a greater
force,
connection to the Force. It's the greater
you know.
connection to the Force that's older.
Yeah.
And
I would say
that's what I'm
old. I
saying.
don't know
Like,
about a greater, but it's just like a utilization of the force, but in a different way. That might be like you said, older. So, do the whales use the force or just hyperdrive butts? I don't know. That's a good question. It's the
I have
hyperdrive butts.
no.
Their farts put them in like hyperspeed.
It's funny that they went there. They go there to die.
Yeah,
It
that
completes
was
their life
awesome.
cycle.
That was awesome.
I said this is just basically a graveyard.
Yeah, because now does that mean the ones that are coming with Ahsoka, like, are they going there to help Ahsoka, but also knowing once I go there,
Yeah.
I die? Like, so I'm sacrificing myself to save you.
But, or this is
Because
just
would that
what
put
they're.
more? Maybe they're just like, yeah, we're just passing by.
This
Because
is what we do.
I
I
can
we
imagine
go there to
'cause
die.
yeah, because she is riding in the mouth of one of the bigger ones, like the mama, quote unquote. So I wonder if she's like, yeah, cool. I lived my life, but I'm gonna help you out one last time, which I wonder would put more pressure on Ahsoka from like the whole choosing to live or die. Like she's choosing to live now. The purgla, is choosing to die, but for a purpose. So I don't know. I mean, that's why like a lot of this could be tied together. But yeah, the mother said, "Oh, sorry, the whole Japanese ninja samurai culture is a fascination of mine. I even own a boken. Nice. I love Japanese
That's
old samurai.
very awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Mama Bear.
I wanna buy a samurai sword, a few of them actually, and I want to buy the Miyamoto Musashi's like sword. The guy who I believe that's how you pronounce his name. The guy who wrote Book of Five Rings.
Mhm.
I want to buy a replica of his sword, and it's like $1,600
Oh my God.
replica.
For $1,600, I better cut somebody.
Yeah, right. But I do want to get it because but yeah, it is a big fascination of mine too. Hyperdrive
I don't
butts,
know.
it's hilarious.
I don't know how you guys were, but in high school, I was all for it. I was all for samurai swords and buying those at like I went to Swaparama.
Yeah,
trying to find
but
those type of things.
my growing up, my grandfather had like these cheap katanas. I think I still have a ninja star somewhere. Where the fuck is it?
I have I have like 4 ninja stars all over in these
I have
boxes back here.
one ship. I have one somewhere, but I have this. This is not really a boken, but I have this like wooden. It's more for Tai Chi. When you practice Tai Chi, use this sword. I got that like laying around right here. But yeah, it said they had some youngling whales with them, so I hope not. Yeah. I wonder.
But I think that might be the new life cycle. And when it's time for those younglings to go mate, it's part of the mate mating ritual. They'll go to this other galaxy, and that's where they'll go.
Maybe that'd be interesting. Night Sisters. These dark side users were able to perform their arcane magics by tapping into magical anchor that flowed from the depth of their planet. Yeah, I believe that's like straight from the lore.
Yeah, that's exactly the lore.
Yeah. Yeah, Ahsoka viewership on Disney Plus must be pretty good because they moved Loki to October 5th, 2023. Yeah, and prime time. They put it at 7:00. So
I think it's also that $1.99 for 3 months.
That too. Well, it'd be saying why the show is changing times and days. Them didn't trust me with the Ninja Stars, right? So practice it too much.
Dude, I have a very good friend. So I don't know, Marvin, is my really good friend. We've been friends since we were 10 years old. Yeah, he's a male nerd. So Marvin actually got hit with a Ninja Star when we were like 14 years old because we'll go swap around and buy that stuff. And one of my friends, Anthony Frazier, threw a Ninja Star at him and hit him right in the middle of his hand.
Oh, why would you throw that?
What
the hell is wrong with you?
And kids are stupid. Young teenage boys are stupid.
Oh man! Like, let me throw this multi-pointed fucking Jesus. Oh man, jeez. But yeah. So real quick, I'm gonna come back to some of these other comments. Any bad stuff that you did not like about the episode?
I actually don't like the fact that Ahsoka's not in the entire episode. I don't.
That didn't bother me that much.
You know, because you're giving it a pass because you're thinking that this is actually Rebels season 5. Like, this is what this really is. But it's called Ahsoka. And if it's called Ahsoka, the name, she should be in every episode no matter what. It's kind of like Boba Fett not being in two of those episodes and being like the Mandalorian season 2.5. That's kind of what it is. Yeah. So like, if I have any complaint, it's the fact that if it's called Ahsoka needs to be there.
I understand that. I mean,
it's the same argument that we've always had with as we had with Boba Fett. Because if that's the case, then maybe Boba Fett wasn't really that bad, and we all know it was.
I still think it's a little different because this is coming from another story. So it is coming from Rebels, and
but
even Filoni pretty much, which I think he just had to call it.
But understand, because what we're doing with Boba Fett's coming from Star Wars. It's still coming from another story, but if it's about the main character and you're going to call that you probably should have her in every episode.
Yeah, Boba Fett was trash. It was not good. It was not good. She was in the first 5 minutes. I mean, I liked her in there, but yeah. I mean, I do understand that. Like, it's called Ahsoka, so it should be Ahsoka.
I'm just saying. Sometimes I understand what they're doing, but at some point in time, she needs to be in it. So if we're gonna have that same, if I want to be consistent and I want to have that complaint about Boba Fett and having a Mandalorian being in 2 episodes and Boba Fett not being in those episodes at all, I have to have that same thing with this.
Yeah, I don't know. It still doesn't bother me as much because there's her story and then there's the overall story where with Boba Fett was the story.
But it should be, if you're gonna call this Ahsoka, then you need to be still have Ahsoka being around. And you can talk about ancillary and the secondary characters, but you should still have Ahsoka around.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I
mean, that's why I don't think they should not have called this. They should have called it like Rebels Ahsoka. Something along those lines. Like Rebels, colon Ahsoka. Something like that.
Well, once you call it Ahsoka, just like you call it Boba Fett, I feel like you need to have that main character needs to be on them. Because I can't complain about Boba Fett and not say the same thing here.
I can, because I think it's very different. Because like one, it set up Boba Fett as the only character that the story was about. Here, I mean, it's really not about Ahsoka. This show's about Ezra and Thrawn.
You're saying that as a Rebels fan, but if you're coming in,
even from the start, was the first thing that was said was like, we need to stop Thrawn. What about Ezra? That was literally like the first thing the show said. It was
understand that it was still her saying it, and then it was also the fact that Thrawn is the bad guy, so bringing up the villain at the beginning is still okay. So it's different, when you're, So I'm just saying, if it's about one person, if it's supposed to be Ahsoka, then I think Ahsoka has to be in it a little, at least something in there, because it still has to be like, hey, don't forget, this is what we're doing, and because you enjoy Rebels, because I enjoy Clone Wars and all that stuff, I understand it, but I can't let it get away from, the same thing I would say about something else. Because I said Boba Fett, we knew about Boba Fett from Star Wars, right? We've known about other things from other shows. But if you're gonna have they chose to call it this, then she should probably be in it. It doesn't matter if she's 100% in the last episode or not, because she is the name of the show. She should be in it. In episode.
I mean, 100%. I think
is.
The name of the show was 100% clickbait. I mean, even Dave Filoni's like, this is season 5 of Rebels. He already came out and said that. So I think the name of the show was definitely like clickbaity to get people to watch. Like, hey, Rosario. I mean, you could have named this damn show Rosario Dawson, and people would have been like, oh, cool. Like, I'm here to see Rosario Dawson.
I'm still gonna, no matter what, I'm trying to be consistent. I won't be. I mean, do I mind? Because I watched Rebels, I watched Clone Wars, so I know what the hell's going on. So, but I definitely understand, especially when Disney's doing this $1.99 special. They're doing all this to trying to bring viewers in, and then they're gonna say, okay, I'm watching this, and this is nothing. The star is not there. So I mean, and I've heard people say this, so that's why I'm actually bringing it up, because this is not something that it's coming from me, because I'm a nerd. I've watched all this stuff. I understand where it's coming from. I totally know what the world is, but these are things that it's not always about just you. So
I get that one. Let's see what else we got. I just didn't like Sabine's nonchalantness. Oh my god, I can't pronounce. When Ezra asked her how she got there, Thrawn is literally about to travel back to that's why I was like, you are so annoying. Why is Filoni just completely making Sabine stupid? Just completely stupid. Because Sabine was always about being smart. She's the Mandalorian. She's a freaking Mandalorian, like at her core. So why is she just completely changing who she is because of Ezra?
Showing that she's a teenage girl at her core, a girl in love at her core, and that's what it is all about.
But they didn't do it in 4 seasons of Rebels, and now
when she's older,
random.
It's not randomly. This is from the beginning, from the first episode. She's been in love with just one thing only, and it's been one driving force for her, and that's it.
But that's why even like people who watched Rebels, and then you start off in episode 1, you're like, what did I miss? Like, there's something missing, and they still haven't given us that. Like, what has changed from when he left to episode 1 of Ahsoka? Because
actually, I like that you asked that question, because I think he's going to ask that, or someone's going to ask that. So what's happened now between you two? What's changed since when you last saw him? Why is this different? I can see him saying that to her.
Which would kind of, I wouldn't mind it, but it would kind of suck when it's the second to last episode. And if we get flashbacks now, I'm gonna be upset. Like, we already passed that point of filling us in between Rebels and Ahsoka. Like, we're past that. Like, you need to start finishing up and setting up the movie and other stuff.
But couldn't you just say Ahsoka finds? Ezra finds out that they're stuck on this planet. She came and did all this stuff, and he finds out what he does, and he's like,
"Oh, he's gonna be pissed.
Why would you not listen to me? What's different than from me now? Why are you doing all this for me now when you weren't? I was with you all that time." He can say that right there without going back to his flashbacks or any of that other stuff. He can say that in part of his anger of what she's been doing.
I think I don't know if he's gonna get like angry, but I can see him getting angry and then trying to figure out a plan. But I don't know.
I think he gets angry and he doesn't talk to her for a little bit, and then they finally do talk, and then all of a sudden Ahsoka comes out of nowhere, like
flies in from the sky. I thought that was kind of silly though. She's like, "Oh yeah, let's just have fun and hang out right now." It was like, you heard him say we got 3 days. It was like, hey, about we go back? Yeah, I'll give them a pass depending on next week. See, Mando wasn't even in Mando season 3. His voice was that's true. Yeah. Mando episodes were the only good thing about the Boba Fett. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, those 2 episodes are the best whole thing about Boba Fett.
Yeah. Well, then the last one where he was like riding the big beast thing was kind of cool, but the fight was so stupid. I thought it was gonna be this epic fight, and it was like 5 guys versus 5 guys, and none of them can aim. I was like, really? That sucks. I thought it was gonna be like this gang war, and it was not.
Well, that is Star Wars, though.
That's true. That's true. And he is a clone, so. As C3SO said, I liked Ewing's starting the story with a long time ago in a Galaxy 4. That was awesome. I love that. Cool. I love that because then it's like, because then he's telling a story that is passed down in the Jedi's like books. So now us as the viewers, it's like
we're seeing the story
we're being it.
That's
the new
going
stories.
to be passed down to the next level of Jedi. I think that was very cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was all like how it's all connected. He's like, oh, here's this story that he knows, but now as the viewer, here's the new story that's going to become the fairy tale, which is true. Like I have the book of that's technically canon, but it's a book about Luke Skywalker and all the adventures of Luke Skywalker. And in the book, they make him like fucking Superman, like and on purpose. It's very exaggerated. It's very like, oh, he did this. It was like, no, he and even in the movie he said, I didn't
single-handedly defeated Darth Vader.
Yeah, like he did. Well, even after that, like he did all this like crazy shit, and he's like, yeah, that's a lot of it is myth. He even says it in was it Last Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was kind of cool, because these stories start becoming exaggerated and becoming fairy tales and stuff like that. So that was super cool. I really, really did like that. Disagree. Last episode was 100% Ahsoka. The last one was, but also
it's called Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So that's why,
like I said, I don't think that
all the time.
But also that last episode, like I said last week, I loved the last episode with all Ahsoka. It was a filler episode. It was the best filler episode ever to be a filler episode. Don't get me wrong, but it was a filler episode.
They shouted me down for saying that. They shouted me down.
I bet they did. Because how was it not a filler episode? At what?
Because okay, the plot did move. As they said, the plot moved a little bit, so it's not that it's completely filler.
But that's what a filler episode does. Is the entire episode could have been done for the plot in like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only part of that episode that actually moved the plot forward was the last
15.
What?
No,
not even 15 minutes. Minutes. Like I was gonna say 10 minutes. Yeah, So, but no, it was a great episode.
What they said, they said that what their argument was that character development, when you're talking about the main character, it's not filler, is actually still moving the story along, because you can't get to that next part of the story without the character development for that main character. And that was their basis.
Yes.
You cannot without that the character development, you cannot get to the next point.
That's true. That's true. Don't get me wrong. But in storytelling, you can't stay stagnant in order to develop a character. You need to push the story forward as you develop the character.
But otherwise, it technically did. You didn't have anywhere to get there, and now they have somewhere to get there, and we had to get the character development. So it did move a little bit.
Also, I mean, we won't know if that character got developed, because at this point, what did she learn? We don't really know.
We do know that she went from the gray to Ahsoka the Gray to Ahsoka the White.
Maybe.
We all saw that. So.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I still stand by it. It was a filler.
I said it was sort of a filler.
Not moving the plot while developing a character is 100% a filler. That's what a filler is. You're doing a side shit and not moving
But yeah,
the story
a
around.
filler is a side. A filler is a side thing, and this wasn't a side thing. It was character development in the same storyline.
But how did it develop the character? What did it do to Ahsoka that's going to involve the plot?
It completed her becoming a full Jedi, and she went from. Well, that's what we're going to see in more episodes. But I think it is going to. I do believe it's going to show that she did complete her thing, because she did her Luke Skywalker. It is literally from the book of Luke Skywalker, going and facing your fears, and that, because that is the final level of being a Jedi, of being a Jedi Master. That is what it literally is. That's what they explain. That's why Luke had to go face Darth Vader, no matter if it was there or not. So
yeah, but you didn't spend an hour doing it. You literally spent a couple minutes and moved on with the story.
Technically, they didn't spend an hour doing it either. It was 42 minutes, but so I can see both sides. I really do.
Yeah. Because if the whole point of that is for her to face Baylan again and win, then you could have done that a completely different way. But don't get me wrong. The way they did it was awesome.
I think the way they did it, they needed to do it that way.
Yeah, but that was 100% for memory berries. That was 100% for nostalgia. That was 100% for all the prequel lovers. 100%. Don't get me wrong, and it was awesome, and I loved it. And I for every single second, I was on the edge of my seat, loving it, wanting more. But ultimately, it didn't really push the story anywhere. It finished the training, but how did it finish the training? It's just gonna make her win the next fight.
She's now going to be a full Jedi. She is now a Jedi Master. No, she wasn't before. It does, but we because you saw all the trainings and every other thing that we've seen. So in the first series, the first three, the trilogy, even the prequels, we know what you have to do to become a Jedi Master. You know what the way you go through these things. You know that what Jedi have to do. So I understand that is something that is missing from the story. I've always thought that was missing from the story. I did. That she hasn't gone through why is she able to be a master, even have a Padawan, if she never became a Jedi Master. With all that said, I'm arguing with everything. It is kind of filler. It's kind of filler, but I don't want to say it's full. It's not the definition of filler, but it kind of has the same essence. So
yeah.
All right, Ken. Good night, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I already got hit out of a grenade. I'll look forward to clipping that through. Sorry, man. We were taking way too long. But yeah, I didn't have too much issues with this one. You want to get into
let's get to definitely.
Is it a filler is when a character's on Lost play ping pong for an episode?
Episode that definitely did happen.
Which one's that one?
On Lost?
Oh, yeah.
The TV show?
Yeah. I don't know. Yep,
that did happen.
Yeah. And said, why doesn't all that dark energy on the planet affect Ezra?
We don't know what is going to affect Ezra. We don't know what Ezra is yet. And I think that's going to be interesting too. That could be an extra interesting part of the storyline going forward.
Yeah. It also could be why all the Dathomir, I think the Dathomir why they left that planet. Maybe they sucked it dry. I don't know. I don't know if that's
did they leave it or did everyone else die off?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, that's all little things here and there. He said he goes, I know I was going to bed, but the life versus death thing made zero sense to me. At no point did I believe Ahsoka was struggling with life or death. Yeah. Well, I mean, she was dying, I guess, because she was in the water.
No,
so
but was she in the water, or was there a portal in the water that took her to because that's how Ezra got through a portal, and through a portal could be a portal that was in the water that took her to the world between worlds, because there's no other way that you heard the lightsaber battle.
Yeah, that's kind of thing. But also, it's was that the world between worlds that Ezra went through, or was that a different? I think we talked about this before. Was that a different layer of the world between worlds? It's kind of like Jedi heaven, because there wasn't any of the portals, there wasn't any of those kind of things.
Yeah, but
so it was
as soon as the bridge
in the
broke,
middle,
as soon as the bridge broke, you went to something else.
a different layer, different level. So that's why it's like I wonder if it's a different section of the world between worlds or something like that. You know what I mean? Like there's the physical place where you can go, and then there's the spiritual place you can maybe go. I don't know. I mean, they really didn't talk about it that much. I mean, it's a lot of
having the
whatever.
sister being the embodiment of all the good force and having the sister inside you. I think anytime she's faced for a life or death situation, she might end up there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Which brings me. I want to talk about my theory.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Exactly what you said with the sister and stuff like that. Real quick, and then Cleves came in there. I'm sorry, I missed your comment, man. Sorry, because I saw something where they're saying Grogu felt Ahsoka when he saw the whales. Oh, ooh, because in Mando season 3, they're going through hyperspace, and Grogu sees the whales. Those are the whales. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
What if that's Ahsoka in that whale,
inside the whale,
going to do her shit? You know, that's cool. That is super awesome. That is a super cool theory. I like that.
No. This deserves something.
I'm running with that one.
That deserves something. You wow. I mean, I'm and is blown.
Yeah, let's tie it all together, man. That's what Filoni does best. He's able to tie it all together so well. Yeah, that's cool. We are definitely talking about that on Chaos Central.
Yes. Wow. Cleves. Wow.
Yeah. Did I miss the okay. So Ken said something that kind of leads a little bit to it. He goes, maybe Baylan's discovery leads to the Acolyte show. Which we know the Acolyte show is going to be based mostly around Sith, or dark force, dark side force users, stuff like that. And especially the way this show is with, Ahsoka being kind of the embodiment of the daughter, sacrifice to keep her alive. And this place being such a fairy tale for the Jedi, to where a place where it kind of early on kind of stuff. So I saw it and I kind of like it. I don't know if they're going to do it, because then it gets into a lot of other shit that I don't know where they're going to go with. But is the voice he's hearing and the thing that's pulling him here, is it
the brother?
Aboleth? No, Aboleth.
Oh,
Aboleth is the mother, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Aboleth is a thing in Legends that they never finished, because that's when Lucasfilm got sold, and they never finished the story. But she is a fucking monster. She is the worst, to the point where like a badass Luke Skywalker, fully, like Jedi, Master Knight, Grandmaster, couldn't beat her. He actually had to go get help, or kind of get help from a Sith, and they teamed up to fight her, and they still couldn't beat her. Like, she is the best. And basically what she is she came and she was immortal. She was a mortal, helping with the brother and the sister. As she was getting older, she didn't want to die, so she jumped into like some pool of knowledge and pool of power and shit like that, and drank so much of this raw energy of the Force that she became a monster, and she became like very, too strong, to the point where like anybody can, like, no one can fuck with her. Like, she's just that badass. And then I wonder if that kind of ties into the Acolyte. Like, is Aboleth gonna kind of be part of the Acolyte somehow? And that's something they can go forward with like Rey's story. I mean, that's something you can really, really mess with, because Aboleth is so old, and in the books still is a big issue all the way until the end, right until Lucasfilm got sold to Disney. They were still telling her story of everything, but she is the quote mother of it all. So, it would make sense.
I thought you were going to say that the brother since Ahsoka is the embodiment of the sister, that the brother has been calling out to Baylan, and he's been the chosen person to be the embodiment of the brother. So the brother now can enter into this world just like the sister has.
I can see that too, but the way he was talking was like he's gonna destroy some shit, and that's kind of like the thing. He's like, oh, in order to create, you must destroy, or whatever he said, and stuff like that. And it was like, and the only one that could do that is Aboleth. Like Aboleth was literally she could see into the future. It's like she's awesome. Like it is. She's like super super strong, and she's like the strongest character ever to be in Star Wars Legends. I that's why I don't think they would bring her in, but I would love to see Aboleth because she is cool. All the versions of her, she has like this like monster mouth with super sharp teeth that like go all the way to her ear. Like it's just a huge, like she is like freaky looking in all the illustrations.
Ear to ear. That's
she has like tentacles and shit, and she literally feeds on dark force, energy. Like that's the only way she can live. So she literally like pulls in Jedi and Sith and sucks up their force ability to eat off of them and shit like that. Like she is a bad person. So and that could be, and he thinks he can use her when in reality she's gonna use him. And she can like go into bodies and shit and take over people's bodies. So I don't know. I don't know if that we'll get that, but I think that would be super cool. And that'll be a way you can really bring Star Wars into the future for another fucking like 6 movies. If that's what you want to do, because I think Filoni is trying to build his universe, and that would be a good way to start. Like here's this ultimate bad guy, and go, try to beat it. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say Baylan. The brother's been calling out to Baylan, and the brother wants a body, so he'd be the living embodiment of. And while that to push it over the edge, Finn dies, and that's what pushes Baylan over the edge, and to say yes to the brother, and the brother enters him, and now we have the brother being in there along with Thrawn. So now you have the greatest
Of it
problem that's ever been in any Star Wars entity, all both being there.
Yeah. Although if they do that route, I can see the brother going into Shin. Well, one, it needs to be because unfortunately Ray Stevenson passed away.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They would need to kind of change it up a little bit. But I would see the brother like, oh, I want to go into her because she's young and I can tap into her potential more. Yeah. Well, you're old. Your force is not, you're blah blah blah. You can say whatever you want to say and shit like that. But like, I want to go in the new young body and be powerful for longer. So, and then which pisses off Baylan. I could see something like that too. I don't know. Like that would be
for her to be
cool.
full Sith. For her to be full Sith, she needs to kill. She needs to kill her master. Yeah. Yep. So Baylan needs to be dead.
Yep. I could definitely see that. That'd be kind of cool. That seems more reasonable the way they'll probably go. But man, I want to see Aboleth. Like I heard a few people talk about it, and the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh, the more I'm like, this could be badass. This could be super super badass.
But I think Filoni, being who he is very worried about doing too much without people understanding it. To go too much into lore. Because I mean, this episode felt very. It definitely felt Star Warsy, but also kind of felt very. Let's say, like almost Dune-ish. Different planet. That the story way it was going, very Dune-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it taking that type of thing
with him. It's an episode X Sand. That's the next episode. But yeah, and then Professor Film said, I hope we get action with Ezra in the next episode. Same.
He has to defend himself. He's going to have to defend him.
I kind of want to see him.
Shin.
Yeah. I want to see him do some fight. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. But what they can share share a lightsaber between the two of them.
I'm gonna say we're gonna find that Ezra created his own lightsaber,
A
and
new lightsaber.
he's been practicing and learning how to use the Force through animals and talking to animals, and that's gonna be his special power.
Yeah.
And but
More
he
of like a
created his own
natural
lightsaber. Mm-hmm.
The lightsaber would be interesting because I mean, all you really need is,
And then they're
I
gonna
mean, the
ask,
kyber crystal. So.
but then we're gonna ask, where did he get the tools from? And we're gonna find out there's a Jedi temple on the planet.
I'd be cool with that. I think that'd be super cool. But there's only 2 episodes left, so like less than 2 hours.
Wow.
You know, they have to set up a lot and stuff like that. Although I think this is gonna end the whole series. This whole season is probably gonna end on a Thrawn winning.
Oh yeah, I think Thrawn
Yeah.
wins.
So the good guys are gonna lose,
or the good guys are left in this part of the galaxy, and Thrawn is on his way back.
Yeah. That's what I think. All right, but yeah, we've been talking for a while and got all these theories and stuff like that. But yeah, man, 2 episodes left. You know, check us out on Chaos Central with Anzo and who else? We got Danny and Chris Knight and a bunch of other guests and stuff like that. So check us out there. I should be coming back this week and talking. You know, so I'll be in there with them. So
I won't be alone anymore. It's funny because as I talk, I bring people into our opinions, and they're like, they keep on saying, "You can't keep on splitting us up." I'm like, "Hey, don't be mad. We got better opinions."
Yeah, right. You go watch your prequels, the midichlorians. Exactly. But so check us out over there. If you're watching live, stick around. We're gonna finish the show up. But if you're watching on replay, thanks for sticking all the way through. Obviously, we're huge Star Wars fans and we love this show. It's got some problems, of course it does. But for the most part, it's good to be excited and to theorize about the future of where Star Wars can go with this show, and I think a lot of it has to do with Dave Filoni. You know, there's some problems. Don't get us wrong, you know, but overall,
it's good to feel like it's well done, and that someone
Yes.
cares about Star Wars, and we're leading us into a new generation.
Exactly. So, you know, hoping the last 2 episodes finish strong. You know, we're gonna be here talking about it the next couple weeks as well. And I'm super excited. I know you're excited when Brandman wakes up. I know he's excited. So but yeah, we'll be back next week talking about it. But we want to hear from you. Leave a comment. Let us know if you think we're crazy with all our theories and stuff like that. Let us know. We appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you can join the conversation like everyone in chat did with us today, and you can be part of the show. Appreciate you guys. On the replay gang, if you're watching live, stick around.